Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava again. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. It is a well-known, commonly accepted fact in India that our corrupt netas very routinely receive huge illegal payments from individuals, corporates, etc., depending on the purpose for which these illegal payments are made. They receive these payments for themselves as well as on behalf of their parties. These transactions, being illegal, are secretly and stealthily transacted, meant to leave no evidentially trail at all whatsoever. They are in fact never acknowledged either, but the reality is they are transacted. So there can be no evidence or documents kept really in routine course of these payoffs that take place and are a reality in our public life. But sometimes, during the course of income tax investigations, IT raids by enforcement directorates, CBI, etc., evidence is found of such payments have been made by individuals and corporates to netas and their parties. This evidence that is found generally either is in the form of handwritten sheets and diaries or sometimes in the form of records kept in computers. This doesn't happen very often, but it does happen at times. The well-known Jain diaries were one such case. Even in the case of income tax raids, in the case of Sterling Biotech, for example, details were found of payoffs given to bureaucrats, senior bureaucrats, netas, politicians, etc. Something similar was even found in the case of a raid on India Bulls conducted a few years ago. But however authentic this evidence, this record might have been, which is handwritten diaries, courts do not take them as admissible evidence. So any chances of holding a neta guilty is lost in the process. The recent controversy on the Yeddy diaries, wherein it is said to be an evidence of sensational payments made and received by B.S. Yeddyurappa, the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, is one such case. The Central Bureau of Direct Taxes, the CBDT, in its press release has given the facts of this case, and they are certainly interesting and sensational. The facts of this case are something like this. In August 2017, an income tax raid was conducted at the premises of D.K. Shivakumar, the strongman of Congress party from Karnataka. This was immediately after the Karnataka elections. Among all the incriminating material that was found during the course of the income tax raid were some loose sheets. These loose sheets were part of the diary of a Karnataka legislator bearing dates of 2009. These contained details of payments made and received to a number of people, and the amounts were sizable. The total receipts, the total unaccounted receipts mentioned in these loose sheets, handwritten loose sheets, were to the tune of 2,690 crores. And the total payments mentioned in this were to the tune of 1,800 crores. And in these handwritten sheets were mentioned payments to the tune of 1,000 crores to the BJP Central Coordination Committee and various payments to senior leaders of the BJP, which include Arun Jaitley, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, etc. Huge payments are mentioned to them as also to various legislators whose votes are said to have been taken by Mr. Yeddyurappa at the time when he was the Chief Minister of Karnataka by way of horse trading. As I said, this diary is handwritten and it bears a signature. When Mr. Shiv Kumar was asked during the course of the income tax raid, who does this diary belong to? He said it perhaps belongs to Mr. B.S. Yeddyurappa. He was asked at that point of time that why did he not give this diary? Why did he not give it to the Anti-Corruption Bureau of Karnataka or to the Lokpal of Karnataka? To which he said that he was not sure how genuine it was. But he suggested that this diary belongs, it is in the handwriting of Mr. Yeddyurappa. The next thing that the Income Tax Department did was record a statement of Mr. B.S. Yeddyurappa on this particular diary. He said he was not in the habit of writing any diary or loose sheets. He said these were fake, they were false, they were fabricated, they were written to politically malign him They were politically motivated, and he said he had no idea about the contents of these diaries, about the contents of these sheets, and all those payments recorded therein. It sounds strange. It sounded strange because even when Mr. Shivakumar was asked in his statement as to how did he get these diaries, he said he, as a politician, is in the habit of gathering information and he would not disclose the source. And when Mr. Yeddyurappa was questioned, he of course denied it. The question was, do these sheets, do these handwritten sheets really represent the handwriting of Mr. Yeddyurappa, who could then be questioned about the transactions therein? His specimen signatures, his specimen handwriting was taken and sent by the Income Tax Department to the Central Forensic Science Laboratory at Hyderabad. The CFSL, the Forensic Science Laboratory, demanded the original sheets of the diary in order to actually analyze the handwriting and the diary to say whether it belongs to Mr. Yeddyurappa. The reality is that the original sheets of these Xerox copies claimed to be the Yeddy diaries are not available anywhere. The CBDT says that the Income Tax Department did try to find out where these original sheets were, but they have not been found, and hence there is no truth in the allegation that these are diaries or loose sheets written by Mr. Yeddyurappa and thus needs to be dismissed. Here comes probably the case to an end. If you ask us, to us, this looks to be politically motivated and fabricated only because of two reasons that we say. One reason is that in these loose sheets, Mr. Yeddyurappa writes that it is because of Gali Janardhan Reddy who played a key role in his becoming the Chief Minister of Karnataka, and so he credits him with that. If you are writing an account of monies taken and given, it is very unlikely that you would want to write such a statement that it is because of so and so that I became the Chief Minister of the state. In yet another section of these loose pages, he mentions a secret marriage office between a lady called Shubha Karanjale and himself, which also sounds a little too unusual. Nobody would really want to write something like this. So to us, this seems to be fabricated for sure. But what if it was genuine? What if these diaries were genuine? Would they be admitted in a court of law as evidence against Mr. Yeddyurappa? The answer is no. And it has to do with the fact of the Jain diaries, which became a celebrated case regarding political corruption in India. In the Jain diaries, diaries were found with the Jain brothers containing details of payments made by them to numerous politicians of India. One of the names in it was of Mr. L.K. Advani, and the amount written against his name was 25 lakhs. Various names were mentioned, and the total amounts written by way of payments made to politicians in the Jain diaries were to the tune of 59 crores. The matter reached the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that these kind of diaries are not admissible evidence for the simple reason that they need to be supported by evidence. There has to be evidence corroborating, supporting the so-called payments recorded in these diaries for them to be considered authentic. And the sensational Jain diary case came to an end. Such would be the case also of these Yeddy diaries or diary as it is called, because where is the evidence that he gave money to anybody? Where is the evidence ever going to be in these kind of documents? You don't record, you don't make a receipt of payment made and given in these kind of transactions. These are illegal transactions. And so, if at all, ever, a diary, a handwritten diary or a handwritten loose sheet is ever found of a politician, even if he admits it to be right, the fact remains is there is never going to be supporting evidence to prove that those transactions in that kind of a diary actually took place and are incriminating enough to hold the person concerned to be guilty. So it's much all ado about nothing. Nothing will come out of it except for a political storm which has been raised, and Mr. Yeddy is not going to have any charges held against him. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.